So Illinois is working towards fixing a system that's been broken from the start, the criminal injustice system. The Safety Act is set to start in January of 2023, but it's facing some nasty misinformation and disinformation attacks as we get closer to the midterm elections. And no surprise there, because there's always an equal and opposite force out there. And the forces that don't want to see something like this happen, they are out there. So the act covers multiple areas of the criminal injustice system. Let's take a look at that. Pre-arrest diversion, policing reform, pre-trial reform, sentencing reform, corrections reform, and that was your jails and your prisons. And the most prominent part of the act, though, is abolishing cash bail. Under the current system of cash bail, rich people can go home after they get arrested. Poor people stay in jail, and they stay in jail mainly because they don't have the cash bail so that they can go home too. That is really what this is about. And we know that poor people did not help to create this legal system that we find ourselves living with. It was ultra wealthy people and people who were well connected who created the original system that we are under right now. And so under the new plan, which will start next year, a person charged with murder, with rape, with sex offenses or gun crimes cannot buy their release on bail, no matter how much money they may have. And a person who has been charged with a minor offense will be released if they do not pose a risk to others, whether or not they have access to money. Now, let's rest right there for a minute, because a lot of the disinformation and misinformation, just straight up lies about this, is trying to scare people to say that this is gonna let all types of dangerous criminals out to prey on people, and that is not the case. Let's put that graphic back up, please. I want everyone to be very clear about what in fact this will do. So if you are a danger to other folks, you are not going to be let out. If you have a minor offense and you do not pose a threat to others, you will in fact be able to go home regardless of your ability to pay bail. But a racist, classist misinformation campaign is out there, no doubt. Let's watch this.
Imagine dystopia. You hear that word frequently. What does it mean? Picture it in your mind's eye. Dystopia is a world where the police will not protect you. Politicians in Illinois just legalized violent crime against you, and no one's done anything about it. A lot of these people are going to be reelected in November. Really, how does that work? Where's the constituency for violent crime in this country? Is there really one? Is there anyone who's for it other than like Kamala Harris?
What they hoped it would do is basically, it was basically to allow criminals to go free. I mean, this is the whole criminal justice reform. The criminals shouldn't be held. If criminals are allowed to run free and police officers can't protect citizens, citizens are going to start protecting themselves. Anytime we do that, we have the potential to create anarchy.
Cops in Illinois who are furious. There's a Johnson County sheriff who just said about what's going to happen in Illinois. Anyone sitting in jail right now with all these pending charges, they're going to be let out. The gates are open and they're going to be let out into the streets. So they know what's going to come, and it ain't going to be pretty. I mean,
nothing but a lie. They're lying. Now, we just put up a graphic. I want to read this to you just one more good time, and then Merritt, you just jump in here. A person charged with murder, rape, sex offenses, or gun crimes cannot buy their release, no matter how much money they may have. And a person who has been charged with a minor offense will be released if they do not pose a risk to others, whether or not they have access to money. Mayor Robinson.
This issue of cash bail is unbelievable to me. It reminds me of debtor prison every time I hear about it, think about it. It absolutely is absolutely disgusting. I think what Illinois is doing. I mean, and plus we also know that, yes, we know what the racists are gonna do. We know the dog whistles, we hear the red herons. But what this really is, this is a fight from the cash bail industry. They defeated progressive challenges in New Jersey a few years back. Illinois just had it in a better way. I think the way you were messaging it and it was structured was so much better than what normally happens on our side of the aisle. this idea that you can have any amounts of money and do any amounts of crime and still come home, whereas people committing minor offenses are locked up, sitting in jail when they shouldn't be. So I think this is wonderful. Cash bail has destroyed so many lives. If you consider the people that are living on the margins that can't go back to work and then they're fired and can't get another job because they were sitting in jail waiting on a court date, then they get found not guilty. It is absolutely a ruthless system that we should all be applauding. And I hope, like Oregon, I hope Illinois is about to start a trend. And what Fox doing, this is absolutely disgusting. This is the same language that led to January the 6th. Tucker Carlson language just now is the same language that led people to fighting. Telling people that politicians has just launched a war of legalized violent crimes against citizens. And what are you gonna do about it? That is a threat. And people should be aware of that. Elected officials will get calls, will get threatened because of that very language. This is absolutely disgusting that we still allow this type of talk in our in what we call a democracy. And I think, like you said, choose your F word. Who in the freak was that black man up there?
Right. There it is. I mean, hey, sometimes people are.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Mayor.
I know black brothers sitting in jail for 3 years because they can't come up with $200 in Selma, Alabama. I was talking to Sister Torre, Ruth, and she literally told me she can't, because she's their attorney, she can't pay these young boys bail because that's a conflict of interest. But they're sitting in jail because their family can't raise $200, and they've been in there 2+ years because the sheriff deputy can do that. It is absolutely disgusting.
It is depressing. It is a rotten system, and it does need to be fixed. And shout out to Illinois, and keep pushing. Now, I hope that this information that the mayor and I are sharing with you, that you will share with others when you hear these right wingers go to the extreme and just get people worked up into a frenzy. And Mayor, the point that you made, that some of those politicians' lives could be in danger from the threats and the types of emails and things that they are receiving from this misinformation. This stuff is serious. It really, really is. We need to do something about it. The Senator LG Sims, who is the lead sponsor of the bill, had this to say about the bill. And we're gonna put up the senator's comments. The opposition's misinformation campaign against the act is nothing more than a red herring that is there to distract you from the real issue. The real issue is that over the last 5 years, not my numbers, 700 million has gone into the cash bail system. Imagine what could happen in the communities with that kind of money. Mayor, you laid that out earlier. And then the next point, the cash bail system is not about public safety, it is about wealth. I would say it's about the ultra, but this is what the senator said. It is time for us to make sure we have a system about public safety and not about somebody's access to cash. Amen to that, Senator. Amen to that. Go ahead, Illinois and Oregon. Baby, y'all doing this thing. We're gonna keep an eye on both of these stories.